So if you're in drop or you're retiring, you might be wondering, why is my unused sick leave and vacation leave being paid into this account, whether it's TIA CREF or Bancorp or whatever you might have? Why does it have to be paid into these accounts? We're going to get into special pay plan accounts in this video. Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about special pay plans. Now, not all of you watching this, not everyone in the FRS has a special pay plan, but many people do. And in this video, we're going to talk about a few things. Number one, what they are and what the benefits are to you. Number two, we're going to talk about how you can optimize them and hopefully make a better interest rate depending on what you're in. And then number three, we're going to talk about, if you do not have one available, how we can start that conversation. So buckle in. We're going to talk about it in this video right now. Okay, so you're retiring and your money's going into your Bancorp account or your TIA CREF account. And all your unused sick leave is just automatically going there and you have no control over it. That is what's called a special pay plan. Now, if you're in a school board or in a college, most of you have a special pay plan available to you. If you are one of the other entities, it's not very common. We know of a few sheriff's offices and a few cities that have them, and a couple counties. But for the most part, it's the school boards and the colleges who've taken advantage of this plan. Now, what is a special pay plan? A special pay plan is for compensation, special compensation, like, and most commonly, your unused sick leave and vacation leave. So if you have a Bancorp account or you have a TIA CREF account that's automatically being funded as a special pay plan, that is your unused sick leave and vacation leave being paid in on your behalf. Now, the benefit of a special pay plan is if it goes into that account and if it's mandatory that it goes into that account, meaning you don't have a choice, then that plan avoids FICA tax for you and for the employer. Okay, so it's really a win-win. By putting that money, let's say you have $10,000. Okay, we have $10,000 in a unused sick leave and vacation leave, and you retire. By that money hitting that account for one day, you get $765 of permanent tax savings, and your employer gets $765 of permanent tax savings. And on top of that, you get to defer that money as long as you like. So we've seen people with really high unused sick leave and vacation leave balances. I'm talking $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 that if a special pay plan is set up, they can defer that money throughout drop. But if it's not, it all becomes taxable, or they might be able to roll some of it into their deferred comp, but because it's elective, they don't save the FICA tax, okay? So special pay plans are awesome. So if you have a Bancorp account, or if you have a TIA CREF or whatever it might be special pay plan, that is great. And so a lot of times we meet with people like, well, who is this company? Why are they taking my money? I want to pay directly to me. No, it being paid into that account is a good thing. You're going to have that permanent savings, and then you can take it as a distribution once you separate, once you retire, okay? So that's what a special pay plan is. That's the benefit of the special pay plan. Now, if you have a special pay plan and you have money in those accounts, each one works differently. And it's basically, it's weird because each one is negotiated differently from school board to school board to college to college. So everyone has a different deal. Bancorp and TIA CREF, it depends on what was negotiated. So you could be in one county or one school board and your interest rate is different from the school board right over the county line. And you might have different options where you could take money in service versus you have to wait until you separate from service. So my recommendation is, if you have those accounts, give us a call, schedule an appointment. We're going to link an appointment to review your special pay plan below. If you have those accounts, we can look up the plan documents, or we can call the company if they're not online, and we can find out what the options are for those accounts, because a lot of these accounts are only paying 1 or 2 or 3%, which is not very competitive as I record this in today's interest rate environment. So if you're in drop for 5 years and you have money sitting there at 2%, you might want to think about moving that to something that pays a little bit more if you have that ability, and we can find out whether or not you have that ability. Now, if you don't have a special pay plan, if it's not available, and for some reason, I don't know why a lot of sheriff's departments and fire departments haven't caught on to this, because they are eligible to do it. But if it's not available to you, my recommendation is send this video to your payroll department, to your benefit department, to your boss, and have someone from the county or from your employer schedule a call with us. We can set up these plans, and doesn't cost anything to the county. We can set them up with no cost to them, fixed interest rate, savings for everybody, and it would be a benefit. So if you want this type of plan and you wish you had it, it can be set up for you. It just hasn't yet. And very strangely, I've talked to people who are in, who make these decisions, and the reason that that most of them have not set up a special pay plan is, well, the sheriff's department next to us doesn't have it, so why would I want it? I don't understand how that's a good reason for doing something, but that's why. But if you look into it, almost all the school boards in the state of Florida, a vast majority in the state of Florida, have special pay plans, and the vast majority of colleges have special pay plans because they're saving this FICA tax. So think about how much is being paid out every year in FICA tax. It's a very valuable plan. So if you're interested, if you're someone who makes those decisions, and you don't have it, or you know someone who does, or whatever, forward this video on or schedule an appointment with us, and we'll sit down and we'll talk about how to set it up and what that looks like, and really hold your hand through it if you're interested in doing that. Now, going back, if you're just an individual, there's not much you can do except, either if you have one, we can review it and go over it, because remember, it's mandatory. It has to be to have that FICA tax savings. So if you have one, we can review it, see if we can get you a better rate in return. If you don't have one available, it's unfortunately your unused sick leave and vacation leave. You might be able to put it into deferred comp, 457. But then you still have to pay FICA tax, and it's also limited how much you can put in there. So feel free to give us a call. Either way, schedule an appointment. It's in the link down below. Thank you guys so much for your time. Also, make sure that you consider subscribing to our channel. It helps us out, and you'll get updates like this, specifically about Florida retirement system, benefits, drop, everything else. Thank you so much. Have a good day.